We're holding in the Maimaki Seisor, Mem Base, and we're on page Kufnan Aleph, the bottom paragraph. It explained that the Yitzias Mitzrayim is in general the inyan of Iskafia. The coming of Mashiach is Isapcha. Iskafia is the time of conflict, battle, bending, breaking, molding, the Nevesh Abamis, and the clip of the world. And Isapcha is the time when there will be no longer that battle. There'll be godliness revealed in every part of the world, and then there won't be the battle anymore. So, in order to fight this battle of Iskafia, work with the Klippa, which starts with the person's own Nevesh Abamis, and affect all around the world as a result of the battle with the Nevesh Abamis, because every time a Yid does a mitzvah, he affects not only his energy of the Nevesh Olikis, he uses the body and the Nevesh Abamis in the process. In order to do it, you can't put on tefillin without having a body. Can't even say benching, which is words, without having a mouth. So the energy that you use in the mitzvah is the whole category of Iskafia, and that changes all the clipper in the universe. At the same time, and as getting closer to Mashiach, we have the two dynamics. One is Mashiach's getting closer. So there are changes that are taking spiritually. However, the world looks darker. There's an aspect of darkness in the world that gets worse every day. The cheshech of the couple becomes more and more. And one of the biggest tests that we have today is not to be affected by people that make fun of Torah mitzvahs. For that you need strength, not to be in the spol. So for this, the Frierdiker Rebbe describes what type of strength you need to have is a tremendous amount of Yiras Shamayim, of the feeling and connection, awareness of closest to Hashem. On this, he gives the mashal of you have the king who's fighting a battle because his kingdom is under threat, and he takes out from the hidden treasures that there are and he squanders them to give the regular foot soldiers, people who are fighting the battle, what they need in order to be able to win. The nimshal means that at this time of Golus, we're giving us a tremendous amount of koyach from above, called the oitzer of Yiras Shamayim, in order to fight the battle against the Nevesh Abamis, that inyan of Iskafia. So it's understandable. And what's the type of avodah? To stay dedicated to Hashem without anything getting in the way. No, with total l'maylam and a seichel. It's not enough just to do a little bit of Torah mitzvahs or to satisfy some aspect of within oneself of community. To be dedicated to Hashem, l'maylam and tavadas, a selfless dedication, that recognizing that I'm created to serve Hashem. Hashem is the truth of all existence. That approach is of the Yid, and then you have. So how's it the reciprocal response above? Hashem, even though these are tremendously great levels of godliness, Hashem says, I'm squandering them, giving them over to every Yid, so he's going to be able to use this koyach too. So that's all in order to win the battle. What happens when Mashiach comes? We won't need that anymore. And that's the reason why the opinion that says that Mashiach comes, we won't mention Yitzias Mitzrayim. Yitzias Mitzrayim is the avodah of Iskafia. We won't need that anymore because all the klippa will disappear. There won't be any negativity and Hashem being hidden in the world. So you won't need it. What's going to be then? You won't have this unique connection to Hashem. So that's why we'll just mention it. The other opinion says you just mention it. And when you mention it, that'll be enough to give you that unique connection to Hashem as well that we had during the time of Golus. Because when Mashiach comes, everything will be in an open and revealed way. It's learned inside the bottom paragraph on page Kufnan Aleph. Val pizeh yuvan masha yaskiri yitzias mitzrayim gad losid lovi. And now we understand why we will mention Yitzias Mitzrayim losid lovi. Av shegiluim the losid lovi heim nailim yosef nifloim migiluim shahay Yitzias Mitzrayim. Even though the revelations of godliness are going to be much greater and much more wondrous than they were by Yetzias Mitzrayim. Why? That since this giving of this treasure of Yir Shemaim, this treasure from Hashem, this spiritual energy, is only for, or stavka especially for, the battle, and and when Mashiach comes, there's not going to be any more battle with the Yetzer Hara. Because the spirit of Tumah will have left the land. We won't have any of that in the world anymore. Yes, kiu then gam oz. Then, therefore, we mention it. We mention the union of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Why? Because then by mentioning it, we'll have this mile of iskafia. We won't need the koyach to do it, but we'll have the plus and all the advantages, all the perks that come with it. Which is the drawing down of this unique connection to Hashem of the Yetzer. We don't need it, and if you wouldn't mention it, we wouldn't have it. But just through mentioning it means we get this closest to Hashem too. And that revelation is also going to be in the ultimate revealed manner, like all manners of Lasid Lavi, as the Navi says, your teacher will no longer be enclothed. There'll be nothing covering over any aspect of godliness when Mashiach comes. Ois Zayin, on the last page, Kuf Nun Beis. So this now we can explain the pasuk with this lengthy explanation. What did the Navi mean when he talked about Kimei Tzeitzcha Eretz Mitzrayim and Renan the Flows? Mashiach will come. It'll be like the days of going out of Mitzrayim. And that's what the part of the Navi meant. When Mashiach comes, we're going to have both milas, both unique aspects of this connection to Hashem. The mile of Iskafia, which is hinted to by the words Kimet Seis Chomeres Mitzrayim. That's what Mitzrayim is, not just the one-time event coming out, but the whole avodah that the Yidden did from Yetzias Mitzrayim till Mashiach comes is included in the words days of going out of Mitzrayim, meaning the avodah leaving the meaning the avodah of Iskafia. V'amalid Isabcha, Aren in the Flois, and the Milo of Isabcha, and that means Aren in the Flois, referring to Mashiach's time. So we've got Iskafia and Isabcha. Iskafia means Yetzias Mitzrayim. Isabcha means the times of Mashiach. So what happens? Through our avodah in the time of Golus, through our Veda, Sheklolos avodah Bisman Golus, is B'yofen the Mesiris Nefesh L'mayla Mediv Agbala. That in the time of Golus, the service the Yidden do to Hashem is in general terms all full of Mesiris Nefesh, higher than the union of limitation. And this is a big difference between the times of the Beis Hamikdash and the times of Golus. In the Beis Hamikdash, there was Gili Elokus. You came to the Beis Hamikdash, you felt the Ein Sof, you felt it in the infinite Hashem, you felt closeness to Hashem. Godliness was shining through. There are miracles in the Beis Hamikdash every day. The Yidden saw and felt it, and it permeated them. Times of Golus, we don't see it. So how do you serve Hashem? With Mesiris Nefesh, as selfless dedication. That's with the inner belief how special Hashem is and the neshama. But it's not something we easily feel. Shahari bismana golus b'frat be'iksefe de Mashiach yesh ma'in ma'akvim v'rivin nisyonis. That in the time of golus there are many things, and that hold us back, and they can hold us back. Nisyonis means a test. Test meaning something that holds you back from the easy expression of learning Torah and doing mitzvahs. Especially as it gets closer to Mashiach, the darkness appears to be greater, begins to be greater. Until you have the very great test of don't be in the spoil, don't be affected by people that make fun. And so this is the big deal that can make fun of on many levels. One is active anti-Semitism worldwide. You're going to have people that are close to you that make fun. A Baal Tshuva has to fight against the pushback he has from his family. There could be communities that don't see the plus and the virtue of Hidur Mitzvah. There can be internal, making fun of yourself. There's so many different levels where a person feels bad or insecure, uncomfortable that I'm going to be doing this mitzvah. What's everybody going to say? At the same time, we have had, starting from the hippies, there was a generation, don't care what anybody says. So that was in a worldly view. And so that energy we can channel into our serving Hashem. But it takes a lot of effort and steadfast determination. And so even though all of this is going on within the person now, that we don't reckon with anything that can hold us back, and Yidden v'loim in Torah Makayim mitzvahs b'li kol cheshbonos, and Yidden are dedicated to learn Torah into mitzvahs without any type of accounting, any reckoning. As the Gemara says in the end of Chagiga, that even the empty Yidden that are empty, are full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate is full of seeds. It's a fascinating Gemara. Reish Lakish says it. There was discussion of Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. He says, even the empty ones of you, those who aren't, appear not to be so connected to Hashem, are full of mitzvahs like a pomegranate is full of seeds. The loy rak shehem mikayim mitzvahs, the Gemara, not only they do mitzvahs, elheim malayim mitzvahs. They're full of mitzvahs every year. Hinad yedei ze yotzim ha'golos b'rechush gadol shel mitzvahs, rechush gadol shel Torah. And through this will come out of the golus with a wealth. A rechush means an abundance of wealth of mitzvahs and of Torah. The Gam Talmud Torah mitzvah, because learning Torah, not only is it you have the plus of learning Torah, but learning Torah is also a mitzvah. The Rabbi Hishakula connected all the mitzvahs. And the Gemara says that this corresponds to all the mitzvahs also. It's a great mitzvah. Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. Mikivin shezeh harachush gadol the Torah mitzvahs. And this huge amount of Torah mitzvahs that we do is Mosef Ba'aschos, adds in the schos of the Yidden. Is a Mosef the Zirus Gam B'achishena. This happens also in the Mashiach coming very quickly and not to be delayed. Because the more Torah mitzvahs do, the more it pushes forward the inyan of the possibility and the coming of the Gula. The Ba'ofen, the Ba'orim and Anishmai, that will be lifted up on the clouds of heaven. That it will very, very soon will be the coming of Mashiach.